Have you ever held a banknote in your hand and truly considered what it represents? It's not just paper or polymer, it's a promise, a symbol of trust, a store of value, a unit of account. It's the lubricant that keeps the gears of our global society turning. From the bustling streets of New York to the quiet markets of a distant village, money is the universal language we all speak. It represents labor, innovation, and the accumulated efforts of generations. We work for it, we save it, we spend it, all under the assumption that its value will remain stable. This piece of paper allows a farmer in one country to trade the fruits of his labor with a programmer in another, connecting us in a complex web of economic interdependence. It's the foundation upon which we build our lives, plan for our futures, and dream of a better tomorrow. But what happens when that foundation begins to crack? What happens when the promise is broken and the paper in your hand is worth less today than it was yesterday and will be worth even less tomorrow? This isn't a hypothetical question. It's a reality that has unfolded time and time again throughout history, in nations both great and small. We often hear the term hyperinflation, but the textbook definition barely scratches the surface of the human tragedy it entails. Think of the Weimar Republic in Germany in the early 1920s, a society renowned for its scientists, artists, and thinkers brought to its knees. Life savings, carefully accumulated over a lifetime of hard work, vanished into thin air. A loaf of bread that cost a few marks in the morning could cost thousands by the evening. People resorted to using wheelbarrows to carry cash for simple purchases. The very fabric of society unraveled as trust in the currency, and by extension, trust in the government and in each other, evaporated. The middle class was wiped out, creating a vacuum of desperation and anger that would have devastating consequences for the entire world. This wasn't an isolated incident. Look at Zimbabwe in the late 2000s. The government printed money with abandon, leading to an inflation rate so astronomical it's difficult to comprehend. Prices were doubling every 24 hours. The $100 trillion banknote became a grim tourist souvenir, a symbol of a completely collapsed economy. Citizens who were once teachers, engineers, and doctors were left with nothing. They watched as their pensions and savings became worthless. The social contract was shattered. People were forced to revert to barter, trading goods and services directly, a regression to a far less efficient time. The shelves in the stores were empty, not because there were no goods, but because the money used to buy them had lost all meaning. This is the stark reality when money dies, or consider Venezuela in more recent years. A nation sitting on the world's largest proven oil reserves plunged into a humanitarian crisis. Hyperinflation rendered the bolivar virtually worthless. Millions fled the country, creating one of the largest displacement crises in the world. Those who stayed faced shortages of food, medicine, and basic necessities. The images are heartbreaking. Professionals scavenging for food, people weighing themselves publicly to show the dramatic loss of body weight. It's a harrowing reminder that wealth is not just about natural resources. It's about stable institutions, sound economic policy, and most importantly, trust in the medium of exchange. When that trust is gone, even the richest nation can become poor. These historical events are not just stories in a textbook, they are dire warnings. They reveal a fundamental vulnerability in our financial systems. The value of our money is not guaranteed. It rests on a delicate balance of fiscal responsibility, political stability, and public confidence. When governments resort to printing money to solve their problems, to finance wars, to pay off debts, or to fund unsustainable social programs, they are not creating wealth. They are diluting it. Every new dollar, euro, or yen printed without a corresponding increase in economic output devalues every other dollar, euro, or yen already in circulation. It's a hidden tax, silently eroding the purchasing power of your savings, your salary, and your pension. Today, we stand at a peculiar moment in history. We see central banks around the world engaging in unprecedented levels of monetary expansion. Quantitative easing, once an emergency measure, has become a standard policy tool. National debts are soaring to astronomical heights. We are told it's necessary to stimulate growth, to combat downturns, to keep the system afloat. But in the quiet moments, we must ask ourselves, what is the long-term consequence of this grand experiment? Are we slowly boiling the frog, gradually acclimating to a reality of constant currency devaluation? The signs are subtle at first. The price of groceries goes up a little. The cost of filling your car's tank creeps higher. A house that was affordable a few years ago is now out of reach. We call it inflation, and we're told a small amount is healthy. But history shows us that the line between controlled inflation and a runaway spiral can be perilously thin. When money loses its value, it's not just an economic event, it's a societal one. It pits generations against each other, the savers versus the debtors. It fuels social unrest and political extremism. People look for scapegoats, for someone to blame for their disappearing prosperity. The desperation it creates can lead people to embrace radical ideologies and charismatic leaders who promise easy solutions, but often lead their nations further down the path of ruin. The breakdown of a currency is the breakdown of social cohesion. It is the catalyst for chaos. It exposes the fragility of the civilization we have built. So, as we navigate this complex and uncertain financial landscape, it's more important than ever to be aware, to be educated. We must understand the forces that shape the value of our money. We must question the narratives we are fed and look critically at the policies being enacted in our name. The story of money is the story of human civilization, our triumphs and our follies. It's a story of trust, betrayal, power, and survival. The lessons of Weimar, Zimbabwe, and Venezuela are not relics of the past. They are echoes in the present, reminding us of what is at stake. The value in your pocket is more than just a number. It's a reflection of the stability and integrity of the society you live in. Protecting it is not just the responsibility of governments and central banks. It is the responsibility of every informed citizen. Because when money loses its value, we all lose. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most critical topics of our time. If this video gave you something to think about, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the forces that shape our world. Stay curious, stay informed.